Hi, I'm Laura Custo, and this is Light the Way. Each week, I break down the key moon phase and the astrology around it, giving you a clear, well lit path, one that shows you exactly where to direct your energy for maximum impact. So let's stop your scattered efforts and align with the cosmos to create real results. And this is the moon phase in astrology for January 19th through the 25th, 2025. This is a really great week. I am so excited about what is going on this week. There's so much opportunity for us to take some really great action if we're willing to look and take advantage of the opportunities. So let's dig in. So the moon phase for this week is a last quarter. It's one of those quarter moon phases that doesn't typically get a lot of love or a lot of attention, but these quarter moon phases are our opportunity to take action, to do our part in helping our dreams along. And at the last quarter specifically when we release, one of the big stereotypes is that you release at the full moon, and that is actually not true. We release at the last quarter after we have had time to process what happened on the full moon. And so with the moon phases here, with Moon Chat, we work with the moon families, and each phase of the moon happens as a progression of this moon family, which happens over time. They happen in 9-month increments. So we're always having the moon cycles going on, but they're activating your chart in very specific ways. And they're reactivating points from the past when we set intentions on new moons, took action on first quarters, saw culmination on full moons, and now here we are at this last quarter. So this last quarter is the end of a story that has been playing out for the last 27 months or so. So the last quarter is happening on January 21st here in 2025. It's happening at 2 degrees and 3 minutes of Scorpio, and it's happening at 1:31 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So the first thing that you want to know about working with this last quarter is to figure out what area of your life is being activated. It's happening in Scorpio. So what area of your life does Scorpio represent? What house is it ruling? And if you don't know, feel free to go on over to lauracusto.com, pop in your information, and I will send you all the details on how you can get your free 14-day trial of Moon Chat. And that will tell you not just what area of life Scorpio represents, but every single house. And then you'll get an email in advance of these moon phases telling you, hey, Scorpio is activating your, second house, your 10th house. And that means this. So this is the part of life that you want to focus on. So that's the first step. Step 2 is to get your bearings around the dates for this moon family. So the first date that you want to look at would have been the date that represented the new moon, the day that you set intentions that started this whole story, right? That is playing out here on the 21st of January with this last quarter. So the new moon, where you would have set intentions, and this goes back a while, is October 25th, 2022. So did you consciously write intentions down? If you kept a journal, I would advise going back, taking a look. That's the first step. The second date would have been the date that you took action to move those intentions along. That was July 25th, 2023. So again, if you were doing a new moon journal, go look at that. Go look at July 5th, 25th, 2023. See what commitments you made on that date. Even if you didn't keep a journal and maybe you didn't look back to that new moon, it's worth it if you have some time to look at that first quarter. Just notice, did I make a commitment to anything? Starting anything, moving anything along, taking a trip, taking a class, buying a house, buying a car, ending a relationship, starting a relationship, those sort of things. The next date, and this is the one I do recommend you look at no matter what, would have been the full moon, the last full moon that we had in Scorpio, which was April 23rd, 2024. What happened on that day? Was there some truth that came to light? Was there a big revelation? Go back and look, and I would look a few days either side, even the week before, week after, right? Full moons can be powerful times. So just see what happens, see what you notice. And again, if you know the area of life that Scorpio represents, you can hone in on that life. Sometimes it can also be in general. So, but the more we work with this energy and the more that we start to consciously work with it in an active way and focus on the areas of life that are represented, the more supported we are and the more powerful this whole process becomes. Okay. Step 3 is to actually use the last quarter to make some decisions and take some action. the last quarter is about reconciling the truth of what happened on the full moon and then deciding, what do I want to keep? What do I want to harvest and retain and carry forward with me? And what am I done with? What am I ready to release? I'm clearing the garden here. Let's pull out all the old weeds. Let's pull out the stems of the whatever the plants grew on, and let's really clean it out so that we've got, nothing but soil, and just let it rest for the next 9 months until it's time to plant a new seed then here on the Scorpio area of life. We'll have this Scorpio new moon when the sun is in Scorpio, which will happen in the fall, right? It's January right now. So that's what the last quarter is about. And I am going to get into how the other planetary energies this week are supporting you and taking action. We have a amazing combination of planetary energies that are supporting just this very thing this week. And I am so excited to get in it. So, all right. So at the last quarter, specifically on the day, January 21st, we have Pluto making a conjunction with the sun. So at this moment of the last quarter, we say, let's say the sun is right here and the Pluto is with it. The moon is going to be at this 45-degree angle. So they're going to be kind of going like this, right, to each other. And that's what's creating that tension. Now, with the sun conjunct Pluto, that means those energies are merging, and the sun is the sense of self. And Pluto is this desire to see what is hidden, to go deep into the shadows and just look at what's there and address it and work with it. And so that Pluto point is going to be your release point. There's probably going to be this sense of like, you're already going to feel that tension of the last quarter, but then there's going to be this extra like, you're just like, I'm just not looking at that. I've been avoiding that. I wonder if I should do something about that. And let that guide you. Let that guide you, because in a couple days, there's going to be a really great opportunity to do something about that. But use that day of the last quarter and a couple of the days leading up to it, which I'm going to get into here in a second, that are going to just, this energy just flows so, so well. But again, on this last quarter, you want to be asking yourself, what have I been avoiding? What is when you look back at that full moon date, right? Where was that? That was the full moon that happened in Scorpio, April 23rd, 2024. What happened? What truth came to light? And now as you're reconciling it, the questions to be asking with Pluto in the mix here are, am I owning my part? Did I do my part? Was there a better version of me that could have shown up there? Or is there a better version of me that I can bring to this moving forward? Maybe it is time to release this aspect of my life, because maybe what you've been avoiding that's hidden in the shadows is an old pattern around settling for something that just shouldn't have been there. And maybe that goes, again, back to the shadows. Can often represent inner child work, right? Something that just you've been avoiding, and you know that you need to do something about it. You've wondered, maybe, is this affecting me as my life's going on? Now's the time. Take a look at that. Hey, if I healed that, maybe I could show up here in a better way. And so maybe this doesn't need to be released from my life. Maybe it's something that I can repair and take some action towards repairing now, and making myself show up or making sure I show up in a better way. And then we can replant this on the next Scorpio new moon. Okay. So it's such a great, great last quarter for really excavating and really healing and releasing and renewing and repairing, right? You're going to release that which no longer serves you and retain that which does. So, all right, so let's get more into the flow of this now. So that's on the 21st. 2 days before that, on the 19th, we have Mercury doing some stuff, which is going to really help in the analysis of this situation. You're going to start to feel this last quarter moon start to build, right? But on the 19th, Mercury will sextile Saturn, and then it's going to sextile Venus, because Venus and Saturn were just making a conjunction. And so Mercury is the planet of communication, analysis, speaking, writing, that sort of thing. It also has an element of, technology. When Mercury goes retrograde, it can be a little like technology glitchy, but it's like communication, analysis, thinking, right? And it's in Capricorn now, which is very responsible. And it's about, kind of like dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and just making sure that all your bases are covered. Saturn, which it's sextiling, is also the ruler of Capricorn. So I think this is good. And the sextile, again, these two sextiles, Mercury first to Saturn and then to Venus. It's harmonious energy, but it's not going to be handed to you on a plate. It's a growth opportunity. So you are probably going to have something that pops into your lap or a revelation that comes to you. It's going to be an opportunity to analyze or communicate something around something responsible, something Saturnian, authority. So it could be, a boss, it could be a responsibility, something that you've committed to, again, kind of you can hone in on the area of life, if you know the area of life being activated here. But basically it's this opportunity to like look at something and do some analysis on it, do some proactive communication on it, take some added responsibility that you've been looking for, or that it just feels right. Okay, I think I need to be responsible for this now, and I'm going to communicate that I am going to do that. And then later in the day, Mercury sextiles Venus, which I kind of see as an opportunity. Venus is pleasure, so it's this opportunity to take on pleasure, an opportunity to communicate something of pleasure, or to analyze or experience something that is pleasureful. You can almost look at it as a reward for doing that Saturn work earlier in the day. So I really like the 19th. I think it's kind of a fun day. Okay, then we move a couple days later that day at 1 p.m., the sun enters Aquarius. So we are going to have this first quarter moon just a couple days after the sun has entered Aquarius. And that's also why the moon is at such an early degree. It's happening at 2 degrees of Scorpio and Aquarius. Okay. So the sun being in Aquarius, when the sun changes signs, it's sort of like we have a sun sign where the sun was when we were born, but when the sun changes signs, it sort of infuses this like kind of identity into the collective. It's a changing of, I don't want to say maybe changing of the guard, but it's a changing of the seasons, even though we're not changing seasons, right? We're in the middle of winter. Aquarius is a fixed sign. All the fixed signs fall in the middle of the seasons. But it's kind of changing the flavor of Capricorn is the sign before Aquarius. So the sun is leaving Capricorn, moving into Aquarius. Capricorn starts winter. And so it's like, okay, now we're in winter. And we have this very like, okay, here we are, we're in it. Now, then you look to the elements. So we've got Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, so fixed air. Aquarius is also the most sophisticated and evolved of the air signs. So we think of the air signs. Gemini is the first one, and it represents the relationships that we have when we're young, our relationships with our siblings, our relationships with our friends. It's those child relationships. It represents more localized relationships. It also rules the third house, which is all about basic communication analysis. Mercury rules it. And so then you move on to the next air sign, which is Libra. Now, Libra is all about our relationships with the other. Libra rules the 7th house, which is on the descendant. So it's directly opposite the 1st house. So 1st house is our relationship with ourselves. 7th house opposites, the houses are always opposites like that, is our relationship with others. So it's the planet of partnership, marriage, business partnerships too. But then we move on to the last air sign, which is Aquarius, and that rules the 11th house. And the 11th house is all about our relationships with friends, groups, networks, and the collective. And so that describes Aquarian energy. So it's our relationship individually to humanity. And so if you move on a little bit, the symbol of Aquarius is the water bearer. And when I think about this, the water to me really represents what nourishes all of humanity. And that's knowledge, right? Water physically nourishes us. But if we think about humanity and our evolution, it's knowledge. And it's knowledge can be such a broad term, but it's the water bearer is there being a steward for that knowledge, right? It's keeping it safe. And so Aquarian energy is about respecting the facts and truth. It's creating a space at the table too for creativity. It's also integrating its opposite sign, which is Leo, and that represents the self and sovereignty, bringing it all together for the benefit of humanity. And so it's all encompassing, it's multifaceted, and it's nuanced. I think that's another really great thing to keep in mind. It's using the left brain and the right brain. It's using the head and the heart. It's being truly human, connecting to our natural state. and connecting to oneself and the divine. And quite honestly, I think it's just really distilling it all down to common sense. Oh, this is what's right. This is what is good. And this is what is true and what will honor all involved. And so the sun's moving into that sign. Now, this Aquarius sign, it also represents technology. And you could think right now, wow, and especially with Pluto in Aquarius and where technology is at right now, AI and robots, this is another thing that astrological communities are talking about. And I'm so passionate about this kind of core, this integration of the core meaning of Aquarius, which is, knowledge, and using knowledge responsibly, thinking about all the different facets of it. And yes, we've got this technology coming, we've got all these opportunities, and we've got ways to use it. But what is for the good of all? What is the responsible way to use it? This moment in time where technology is making this big leap is a moment in time. We've been here and our existence has been around for a very long time. How do we integrate it responsibly? With most very big nuanced things, the answer is not clear immediately. It needs time. And I also think that that's what this Pluto in Aquarius time for the next 20 years or so is a key focus of, is this integration of technology. So that's some added insight. Pluto in Aquarius is, if you've been following astrology, you're not, you've heard this, but there's a little more insight into perhaps how to work with this energy, especially as just within yourself and being an individual, and start doing some critical thinking on how you want to leverage this time to be alive, and this Aquarian energy that, sun moves into Aquarius once a year. It's there for about 30 days, but then Pluto's there. It's going to be there now constantly for the next 20 years or so. Okay. So that is the 21st. That's also the day, that's the 19th. Then we move into the 21st, where we have this last quarter. Sun's been in Aquarius a couple days. It conjuncts Pluto. We have all that really great, well, it's tension energy, but it's this opportunity to look deep within the shadows. And I think also the sun being there conjunct Pluto, it's looking within ourselves. What role did I play in that situation that played out on that full moon, April 24th, 2024? Am I owning my part? There's a lot of questions you can ask yourself on the last quarter. Moon Chat members get a list with every last quarter moon. But I really think this last quarter is about asking those questions of ourselves and how we showed up and how we are taking accountability and responsibility. Okay. Then 2 days after that, and this is where it gets really fun, we have Mars, Uranus, and Mercury doing a little dance this day. And if you wanted to pick a day, or as you're reviewing, what did I take responsibility for? What didn't I take responsibility for? And you think, wow, I think there's something that I need to do. I think it's going to come across as being really unexpected. Everybody's going to what are you thinking? The 23rd is your day, my friend, because that's all it's about. If you wanted to pick a day to take some unexpected action, the 23rd is it. And here's why. It starts with Mars. Mars is our action-taking assertiveness energy. And it's making a sextile to Uranus. So this is an opportunity being presented to you to do something unconventional. Do Mars, something unconventional, Uranus, but it's an opportunity, which is a sextile. That means it's not going to happen, but it's going to show up. You're going to be given a window of opportunity. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be brave and take it? Are you going to have done your reflection on the last quarter and done your Pluto work? And then the 23rd, it's going to show up. And are you going to take it? So I think it's a really great opportunity to work with the planetary energies, be brave, and take it. So if you take it, later in the day, Mercury comes on the scene, and it makes an opposition to Mars, which is this push-pull, push-pull. Mercury is communication, and Mars is this action that was taken. That points to somebody coming up to you and saying, what were you thinking? Seriously? Why did you do that? That is so not you. It doesn't make any sense. Yep, it was unconventional. So you're going to have to go through that. What I would say is just be patient, because the day ends with Mercury making a trine to Uranus. And a trine is effortless. It just happens. And this energy is Mercury unconventional, effortlessly collaborating with communication and analysis. So that points to that person or people who came up to you and said, "What the heck were you doing?" All of a sudden being like, "Oh, wow, I get it." The truth kind of comes to light. It all makes sense. And they're like, "Whoa, that's really weird, but okay, I get it now." Okay. So be patient with others. They're going to need to catch up. But wow, I think this energy is absolutely amazing. So take it, use it, work with it. Might need to listen to this a couple times, huh? So, all right. Then we end the week with Venus making a trine to Mars at 4:53 p.m. on Saturday. So Venus and Mars, Venus, there's that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So Mars typically represents the male, the yang energy, and Venus, the female, the yin energy. And when they make a trine, again, a trine is effortless and harmonious. So it's this, it points to, like the planet, the two planets of the lovers having this effortless dance and this collaboration of their energy. So, as far as like romantic relationships and couples, this is great energy for flirting, because you've got this kind of like assertiveness and charm that just kind of go together really, really well. I think that Friday or Saturday would be a really great day to go on a date, especially if it's sort of like a newer relationship, something that's ripe with kind of just potential and fun. Could be a very, very fun day for a date. And I would actually recommend you take the date on Friday because the energy will be building. 4:53 p.m. Saturday Mountain Time is going to be already pretty late for some parts of the world, and it'll be dissipating by then. And Friday is also ruled by Venus, whereas Saturday is ruled by Saturn, which just isn't as fun. So anyway, Friday or Saturday, but Friday I think might be a slightly better day. This energy also just individually is really great energy for being diplomatic. Again, it's this assertiveness, this proactive taking action of Mars, merging effortlessly with beauty and charm and just lovely things. It's the ability to present yourself and speak in a really pleasurable way. So it should be a lovely day, that Venus trine Mars. So, okay. Well, that is a wrap for the week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope it's been helpful. This was a fun week for me. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please share it with your friends, like the video, leave a comment below. Let me know what you liked about it. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, enjoy this opportunity on this Scorpio last quarter. Dig deep, use that Pluto energy, use these opportunities that are being presented to you. Trust, here's the thing, these energies are there. If there's something that you've been wanting to do and things pop in, at the end of the day, simply remember the planets support you too. These are the energies at play. So when doubt sets in, remind yourself of that. Oh, but Pluto's encouraging me to go deep. Oh, but Mars is there to support me in taking action. And there should be an element of unconvention here. And it's all going to come out in the wash. And at the end of the day, if you know you are taking accountability for yourself, that's what really matters. So I would say get out there, clear your garden, and enjoy this last quarter. Make the most of it. Enjoy might be a bit of a strong word. Be brave. Get out there and do something that you're proud of.